Hey everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back to my channel for my June roundup. This is also going to be my mid-year check-in where I talk about the goals and how I'm doing so far for the year. And I'm only talking about 5 puzzles today for my June check-in because the majority of the puzzles that I did for my 300-piece puzzle video, which I already went in full in-depth reviews on. So I'm going to leave that video down below if you are interested in 300-piece counts. By 5 here that I really didn't talk about too much in other videos. So that's what we're going to be discussing here today, as well as how I'm doing for the year, what my goals were that I set at the beginning of the year, and what's been happening, what have I discovered, and what did I accomplish. So that's what we're doing today. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here, and we're just gonna get into this. First up, let's start off with the puzzles that I did. I did 20 puzzles in the month of June. I feel like I did slow down quite a bit. I was sick for about 2 weeks in the month of June, so I didn't do as much puzzling. Also slowed down to do more smaller piece counts for that video, so I didn't have too many others to talk about, but I do have some really good ones here. So first up we have is You're the Sunflower. This is a Buffalo Games puzzle. It's only 300 pieces. I did this one during a vlog, and it was one that was on my wish list for a while, and it was so much fun. Very quick, very easy. Flew through the top half. This bottom half was definitely a little bit more challenging, where I did have to sort a little bit by piece shape at the end, but in general, really liked it, definitely recommend it, and I think I got mine on sale, so even better. Next up we have is this guy here by Buffalo Games also. This is an Amy Stewart puzzle, which her images for me, they always look really cool, but I'm not sure if it's like a style I always want to do. This one though was pretty fun because it wasn't as busy as some of her other works, and it is called The Path of Totality, which is for the total eclipse that happened. We were nowhere near the eclipse total path of totality. We live in Washington. It was a cloudy day. We saw nothing. It helped me be a part of a little bit of a current event, even though they launched the puzzle, I think, after it actually happened. So I think it would have been smarter for them to launch it like when it was happening or right beforehand, or have it sold in places that was actually in the path of totality as a souvenir. But it was still a fun image, and I ended up just doing like complete chaotic method. You guys saw it during a randomizer video, which I was really happy that it chose this one. It was one of my newest in my collection, and it was super fun. Next up we have is a masterpieces puzzle called Twist and Swirls. Super fun, bright, colorful. This is now my fastest time for speed puzzling. I ended up being at 62 minutes, and I really do think if the cats weren't involved, I could have done it under an hour, which was one of my goals for the year. And so I do think it was super fun. I ended up doing quite a bit of sorting, more than I normally do, by color, and that made it go really fast once I started puzzling. So definitely something to consider when I do more speed puzzling in the future. I do like to do a little bit each month just because I am going to go to regionals. So I thought it was fun. I liked it, and I would recommend it. I got it for like super sale on Masterpieces website for Pride Month, and it was just like a fun rainbow puzzle. Next up we have is this one by Eurographics. This one is called Dan's Ice Cream Van, and I have some mixed emotions when it comes to this one. Image, super fun, very quick for like 95% of the puzzle. Like I flew through this one. I did it like top down. The things that I didn't quite like about this one is they are all twos, which I know if you are in other places, they do have their more freeform cut or their smart style cut. For me, this is only twos, and that's the majority of the puzzles that are near me that are only twos for this brand. When it comes to their 1,000-piece puzzles, I know that's something that they're in the works of changing going forward at some time during the year. I liked it. I liked the image. I did not like this one section because since they are all twos, that little section of green, it was like 20 pieces and they all fit together. And I even got it down to like only one piece out of place, and then I had to rearrange like everything in that section multiple times. Like this one little section took me like 45 minutes and it was only like 20 pieces. So that was kind of frustrating. I think if I had a variety of piece shapes, it wouldn't have been as tricky. You know, I would have had something more to work with than just like green leaves. And so it was fun. It definitely was a cute little image, and I did it for a Puzzle Warehouse blog that should be up, I think it's July 21st, I think. And just the last puzzle to talk about is this one here by Ravensburger. This is Colors on Colors, which is the Karen Puzzles puzzle. It was so much fun. I flew through this one. Didn't take me very long at all. I used it more as the gradient. I started off with the borders. I then did like the light bits because those are very distinct for me. And then I just went from right to left, from the blues all the way down to the purple. And I liked that they had those bigger pieces because it was something to work from. They're very distinct colors. They also don't have that pattern of like the puzzle pieces on it, so it was very easy to see where those were. So once you built those puzzle pieces, you can just like fill around it. And I didn't really feel like the little pattern on the puzzle pieces did anything. It did just make the puzzle pieces a little busy, but I didn't really need to use it when puzzling. I really just went by the gradient and those larger puzzle pieces. It was fun. I definitely would recommend it if you are someone who's into gradient puzzles. Definitely a fun take on it. And now let's just go into the goals that I had for the year. I thought I would just do a mid-year check-in since we are at the end of June. It's been officially 6 months since I started these goals, and some were rolled over from last year where I just like tweaked ones that I had done previously, and some were new, and I thought I would just share my thoughts so far and how the year's been going. Let's just say I have been doing so much puzzling. It was kind of a lot. I will say I've been doing a ton of puzzling, but I feel like it hasn't been like the only thing I did. I actually feel like I slowed down on puzzling, but I think part of it is just because I do a little bit each day versus sitting down and spending like my whole entire weekend puzzling. I've been doing a lot more during the week, so that way during the weekend I kind of have like more time to hang out with Dave and do other things. So it's been actually really nice. And so far for the year, I have done over 150 puzzles so far, which absolutely wild. My goal for the year was 120, completely jumped over that goal, and it's only the end of June. And as far as like the piece count, my goal was to be 120,000 pieces. Last year I did just over 100,000 pieces, and already I'm at 80,000. I just hit 80,000 today. So I have been doing a lot of puzzling. Definitely think I'll hit my 120,000 goal by maybe next quarter. So it's been a lot of fun just doing a ton of puzzles, and I have been doing a lot of small piece counts, but in general, I just like increased all the puzzles that I've been doing in general. Another goal that I had was to do at least 4 1,000 piece puzzles per month, because typically last year, the years before, I maybe had done like 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 on like a good month of 1,000 piece puzzles and up. So far for the year, I have done about 5 per month. June was the only month where I only hit 4. But honestly, I'm really happy with that. I've done way more 1,000 piece puzzles than I've ever done. They're not as scary as I used to think they were. They're just a bit of a time commitment. So if I'm filming, I really need to take that into account because it might go through multiple batteries. I'll have to charge my phone multiple times. So it is a little bit more tricky when I'm filming for 1,000 piece puzzles, but I've had some really good ones, and I'm happy to have done so many in my collection. I've been really trying to slow down on my 1,000 piece puzzle purchasing. I don't think it's going very well, just because there are some amazing images out there, and so it's been tough. I do have the majority of my to-do list is 1,000 piece puzzles, and I'd love to get through a ton of them, but you guys know my heart is with those smaller piece counts. So I'm still happy with how I'm going with that goal, definitely reaching it and doing really well. And let's see, the next goal I have here is to learn more about puzzle artists, be a little bit more aware of puzzle artists. And I feel like I have been doing that since the start of the year. Whenever you see a puzzle on the screen, I'm always putting the brand, the name of the puzzle, and if the artist is available, I put it there. Sometimes it is tricky though, like if it's not in the box and it's not on the website very easily, it's really hard sometimes to find the artist, and it can be quite tricky. So I have been really trying my best to put the artist's name in case that's something that you are following. And for me, I have really discovered some artists that I've loved, and I started following some on Instagram. I started that Meet the Maker series where I actually talk to a puzzle artist. So it's been really fun just like learning on the side. I really haven't been discussing it too much here on my channel. So it's kind of just like a little personal endeavor where I'm just learning about new artists and puzzle artists that I'm into, or I do a puzzle and if I really like the artwork, I'll like look them up on Instagram, follow them, see what other works they have. So just to let you guys know some that have caught my interest, we have some puzzles here. So first up we have is this one by Villager Puzzles, and the artist here is Anya Jane. She did Rocky's Explorer, which is this one, and then she also did the Swim at Salt Spring Island. both from the same brand, and I love the artwork so much, and it's such an easy artist to puzzle. Even though she originally wasn't a puzzle artist, it's like her artwork just works for puzzling, especially if you are newer. There's so much stuff to work with. There's so many different layers and textures and patterns to work with. The colors are super bright, very colorful. You have some busy moments, but in general, you have like very good, clear areas where you can work from. And I've been liking her stuff a lot. I like her other artwork that is on her Instagram as well. And so this is an artist that I've definitely been interested in, and hopefully she continues doing more puzzles. The next one, which wasn't one of the featured artists at Nationals, but it's the artist that caught my attention the most, is Greg Paprocki. I feel like I've done another puzzle of his before too. And so I have done now Jazzy in this one here, which is called Pets at Palm Springs. And I like his artwork. Again, there's so much stuff to work with, but it's not a chaotic puzzle. You have very clear things. We can work from the puppies, you can work in the background, you can work with like the different textures and patterns on the wall. And it's all bright and colorful and fun, a little bit quirky. I like it so much. So this is another artist that I'm following his career with great interest, and hopefully I can get some more puzzles of his as well. And the next one that I have really enjoyed is the Demelsa Houghton puzzles. She did this one, which is called Sweet Street, and I loved it so much. I also did one of her 100-piece puzzles, which is, I forget the name of it, but it was a super cute, whimsy, like underwater scene style of image. And she has another one that I've really been eyeing, but it's 2,000 pieces. So I don't know if I'll get brave enough to do it, but I love her artwork. I love the little characters. It's just super fun, lots of stuff to work with, but again, not so crazy or crazy busy that it's daunting. So I really like her stuff as well. So those are 3 artists that have definitely caught my eye. Another goal I have is to try more new brands. You guys know I love trying different brands, and so far for the year, 15 of the puzzles that I've done this year are from brands I've never done before, and I always love discovering new brands, especially if they're good ones. So the 3 that I want to just briefly touch on, first up we have is Heart Puzzles. I've done 2 of their images this year, and I have really liked their quality, the fit. Fantastic. I like their puzzle pieces a lot. I did one 1,000 piece called Wine Trails, which was so much fun. And then I did another one called Fairy Tales, which was a 500 piece. And I really think I need to invest in more of their 500 piece puzzles because they're nice, thick, chunky pieces. They're large and in charge, really fun image. And I really like the fit. Again, it's almost to the point where it's like too tight, because sometimes you're like really squeezing it in there, but it's really satisfying. So that is a brand I'm really been into. Also, I did Card and Illustrations, which you guys know I did an interview with Holly, the artist, and I've been following her Instagram because she is currently working on her next set of puzzles, and I really am excited about it. It's the Grimm Fairy Tales, and I just want to see how the different stories play out, and I think it'll be really fun to see at the end. And so it's been fun to see the progress as she's been working. So if you aren't over there, definitely check her out on Instagram. And the third one I just want to mention is Badge Bomb. That's a brand that I started this year, and I'm now an affiliate with them, and I love their puzzles so much. However, I did notice that the 500-piece puzzles that I've done, they have some other variations where it's a different box, and they now switched to 2, so I'm not sure which is the newer style of theirs, but I do like the images, and they're bright and colorful enough that even if it was just one set of puzzle piece shape, it's not going to be very challenging. So that is a brand that I've been really taking an interest on as well, and I have been following along. And then let's see, the last one that I have here is that I wanted to have my to-do list under 100. If you are on Patreon, I will kind of go into a really in-depth video about how it's been going, but in general, I've been doing pretty well. I started the year off at 150 puzzles, and then I ended up currently is at 110, and even though I've done 80 puzzles since the start of that project, you'd think I'd be done, but you guys know things are always coming into my collection, whether that's me purchasing things for videos, with gift cards, or from brands. So I just happen to get an influx of puzzles at all times, and so I am definitely working on it. I am going to be close to 100, but in general I do feel like the spending on my part has definitely been downsized. I used to spend easily $100, $200, maybe $300 each month on puzzles, and now I've spent only about $60 in the past 3 months total. So definitely have been doing better about my spending, but it also is really hard when you have a puzzle channel, you want to feature all the brands, you want to try all these new things that are coming in or new collections that have been launched, and it's been a lot of restraint on my end. So I'm pretty happy with how I'm standing, and even if I stay over 100, like, I'm not too worried about it. I feel like my collection right now is pretty manageable. I do want to do a declutter probably when I return from my vacation, where we can kind of go through my whole entire collection, deep dive in, and really try to weed out things that I really don't see me doing, or things I have done that I just don't need to keep anymore. So stay tuned for that video. I think that will be really fun, a lot of work on my end, but it's something that I think is necessary. And one thing I have started to do also is sell my puzzles on my Facebook page. So that's something I haven't really advertised at all, but it's something that I think will help a lot. If you are in the US and are interested in puzzles, or you want to see puzzles that I've done that I'm selling, I'll link it down below if you're curious, but I think after that declutter, I'll probably have even more. So just something to keep in mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're doing well and are having a great summer, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.